Hi, film addicts. Welcome to the show. Today we have one of my favorite actors ever. He's also a director and a producer, and you might know him as Family Man on ABC, the series Life Goes On, to the VP of the United States, and the NBC series The Event. But my favorite film he's in, The November Man, and he played Cohen in Penny Dreadful. Let's welcome Bill Smitrovich. Bill, welcome to the show.
Sure, that's good. That's not bad at all.
Did I say it right?
Yeah. Well, I would just want to say there's only one T and there's only one H in Smitrovich. It's not Smith. It's not Smithrovich. It's not. Many of the letters have got screwed up in my history, and I've turned into all kinds of colorful words. When they move the H's around and the T's around, and they get the Vitch and the Smith with the H and the thing, and oh boy,
I've
had a big problem. And my initials are BS. I mean, how bad is that?
so that's Smitrovich, and I'm dyslexic, so I probably thought there was a T and an H. So, but the most important thing is we have you on the show, and I'm super happy and excited for our audience
to be here.
To just hear your amazing stories. So, where are you recording live from today?
Well, I'm recording from my office at home in Woodland Hills, California. Yeah. It's just a perfect day here today. I'm sorry for anybody that's not having a good day, and I hope the sun comes out for you soon.
Yeah, because we are recording in February 26th. It's a live recording, but it will go on a different month. So we're in the end of February here in California. But yeah. So I want everyone to, we love films here, and we always ask a question. And we're going to start with, Bill, what was one of your favorite childhood movies growing up?
Well, I watched a lot of Disney movies when I grew up. That kind of gives it, the silly side, Herbie and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh, Herbie, the Love Bug.
Right?
That was that? The best.
But I would go to a lot of double features on the weekend if it was really hot. I remember I lived in El Cajon, California. I went to 3 different high schools. So one of the first high school I went to was in El Cajon, and we used to have very hot there in the summer. So go to a lot of times, but most of my time was spent outdoors. But films really didn't start to affect me until I was, I would say into my late teens, early 20s. My dad died when I was 17, kind of put my whole world on my head.
Oh, man.
And so the movies that I really dug were Soldier in the Rain with Jackie Gleason, Tuesday Weld, Steve McQueen. Probably, it's an underrated film. And then I became real big fans of Jackie Gleason and Paul Newman. And I, as a youngster, I was a really good bowler. And I was on the California Junior All-Star team.
Wow.
For Southern California. Yeah.
I didn't even know they had bowling teams. That's cool.
Yeah. I was the San Diego County Junior Match Game champion when I was 15.
Woohoo!
Right. So when I gravitated toward, a movie like The Hustler became like a really important movie to me in so many ways. Because of the wonderful actors that were in the film, Piper Laurie, Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason, George C. Scott, Maury Hamilton. Oh my God, it was just a masterpiece.
Yeah, incredible acting.
Right. And so, when my dad died, I hustled my way across country, bowling and shooting pool with a buddy of mine when I was 19. And that didn't go so well.
Uh-oh.
But it was a great event in my life, and that's when the movie The Hustler became like a film that it was incredibly soulful, because in some ways, I saw myself in that kind of lost place that Newman was in. I just couldn't find couldn't get my feet on the ground. I was always chasing something and hustling for something, and I didn't. So that was a big movie for me. I don't know if it's a Criterion film, but anything Billy Wilder did is Jake with me. I mean, Billy Wilder, Frank Capra, and Thornton Wilder, another wonderful influence in my life.
Did you what was your favorite Billy Wilder? Because that's a Criterion film, and we always talk about our favorite Criterion films. And I love Billy Wilder. And screwball comedy, it's one of my favorites. I actually write screwball comedy, and he's like my idol. Like Palm Beach Story, The Weenie King, OMG.
Well, I'm just talking about what his all his hits, all the wonderful Some Like It Hot.
And, yeah, Marilyn Monroe and
my God,
Tony Curtis.
It's amazing what he did with Marilyn Monroe and the guy that played what was the lead? I forgot his name now.
Tony Curtis, right? Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, no. Oh, what I'm thinking of is
I'll Google. I'm Googling, but we're gonna hear some.
Goodness.
Some Like It Hot. Okay, it's coming. Some Like It Hot. Because this is live recording, so people know that. Yeah. So Billy Wilder, Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon.
Yeah. Well, that I'm talking about the one where her skirt flew up, and what was the guy's name?
Oh, the famous Marilyn Monroe scene. Oh, well, you didn't tell me to look at that one, but I will. Marilyn Monroe.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Marilyn Monroe film, skirt flies up, dress flies up, dress flies up, dress flies, oh gosh, can't even spell it, flying up, okay, flying up.
People are just going crazy
behind the scenes of Marilyn Monroe's iconic flying skirt. What's the name of it? The 7-Year Itch. We got it.
7-Year Itch. Thank you. My goodness. Oh my God.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork. Oh well, Google makes the dream work.
Now, what's the actor's name? I forgot.
Oh, okay. So, what's his name?
Doesn't get mentioned enough.
It doesn't even say his name on here. Like, let's see. It just says Billy Wilder's film created. Where is the guy's name? It doesn't even want to mention the guy's name.
Tom. Oh,
I know that. Okay.
Just one of those great, like me, people are going to go, well, what was his name? What was his name?
We're going to have like reviews going. The first person that gives us a name, you're going to get a signed copy of Bill Smitrovich's picture. Come on. And I'll be Googling it while we talk. Okay.
That's right. I'll send you my Deep Space Nine trading cards.
Oh my gosh, I want one. Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
I'm going to find it.
You.
All right. So yeah. So let me see. I just love Billy Wilder, like screwball. Oh my gosh. It's just okay. So let me see. Oh, co-star Tom Ewell. Is that him?
Oh, thank you. Tom Ewell. Thank you. Yeah. But, it's funny talking about, I mentioned Deep Space Nine. When I was doing TED, I auditioned for Seth, and he came back and he started calling me Webb. He said, "Oh, you're Webb," and for some reason it didn't click with me. And then I went, "Oh, of course." He was talking about the 2-part series of Deep Space Nine that we did with sanctuary cities, which was very prophetic during these COVID times that we were in and during the Trump years when they were starting to build what looked like sanctuary cities. So I went to the audition for Ted, and I walked out, and the casting director came back. He said, "Oh, Seth wants to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." So I go back in, and he goes, "Bill, I just want you to know if I had a contract here right now, I would have you sign it." And I was shocked, but that he is such a huge Deep Space Nine fan, and I've come to discover that two-part series was one of the top 10 Deep Space Nine episodes, and I just started to go to these autograph shows recently and started to find out that these cards were available, and I got them, and I started to sign them. But then the COVID came, and all the autograph shows stopped. So.
Oh man! So what kind of autograph shows? How does someone go to an autograph show? Like, what are they? Are they like Comic Con, or they're called autograph shows? Is there a name?
Yeah, they have a Hollywood show, and then people from Star Trek and all these old shows and movies show up, and all, quite frankly, a lot of old friends. People from, my God, Barney Miller and Deep Space Nine, Star Trek, all kinds of things. Autograph folks know about these.
Oh, okay.
They're always going to them, but so they, it's just a trading card that fans trade amongst themselves and get signed and come to the show and like that.
Oh, that's awesome. We're gonna have to give like any fans that are like are doing Patreon or something like that. Nice. Maybe we can like give them some love for giving support to the channel.
Absolutely. I'll autograph 10 of these and send them to you in the mail.
Oh my God. Do you hear that, Film Addicts? Did you hear that? Anyone supporting the podcast, the first 10 people, you're going to get a present. Look at that. Thank you, Bill. Yeah. And so talking about, we just went.
Yeah.
We just
talked. I can show you what the card looks like.
Oh yeah, I get to see it on our Zoom. Let me see. Oh, Star Trek. That is so cool. Wow. Star Trek Deep Space Nine heroes. Michael Webb. That's a cool name too, Michael Webb. I mean, how cool is that name? But he doesn't have a cool. Oh my gosh, heroes. Oh yeah, that is awesome. So I know COVID really put a damper, but my friend has a party platform, so maybe you guys can do his party platform. They could put 300 people in a room on his technology, and you can see each other on a camera. You can hear each other, and you can type, and you can sell things. You can turn the camera off or on. You can turn the audio off and on, and then you can type. And you can sell things and talk to people.
That'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to chat with fans. That'd be great.
Yeah, so we'll have to make the party platform available and talk to you guys about that. But
I love it.
Yeah, so we're just talking about Marilyn Monroe and the 7 Years Itch and Billy Wilder being an amazing.
Tom Mule.
Yeah.
I'll never forget his name again.
Yeah. So also, did you have a favorite director that you like from a film? And can you tell me one of your favorite directing scenes that you love in a movie?
Oh, well, gosh.
I know there's a lot to choose from, but
That's a big question. Yeah, that's a big question. But the first great director I had the pleasure to work with was Andrei Konchalovsky, who was a Russian director and a very famous, celebrated Russian director, did a movie called Siberiad.
Oh, wow.
Which is a two-part movie. It's about 5 or 6 hours long. And I remember seeing this movie in New York in the 80s, and there was an intermission. Actually, the curtain closed and part 1 was over, and then you came back for part 2. And I would highly recommend anybody that wants to learn about, just get a sense of communist Russia, to watch Siberiad. It was based, Andrei Konchalovsky, his father was a member of the Politburo, and he was one of the few people in Russia that had a dual citizenship in America. And he and his brother didn't get along politically. Andre was much more of a liberal, man, artist, and his brother was just a straight line communist. And years later, I got a chance to work with Andre on a movie called Maria's Lovers.
Oh my gosh, you were in Maria's Lovers. Oh wow.
Oh, you saw this?
I know my films, but not all of them. But Maria's Lovers,
there was,
yeah.
There was some really wonderful people in that. John Savage was brilliant, and John Goodman. Oh God.
But what did you play? You played in there. Like, what was your character?
I played. Keith Carradine and I had a scene. Keith, I was playing a bartender. I had a very small role, but Andre really took a liking to me. And the other person that was in this movie was Robert Mitchum.
Wow.
Who I got a chance to hang with, and discovered that he too was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And years later, I'm in a bar in Toronto at the Sutton Place, and people, I walk up to the bar, and the bartender said, he was talking to somebody, he says, yeah, Mitchum's in the other room. So I went, he is? So I went in there, and there he was in this big dining room, sitting alone in a corner table, and I walked in, and he picked his head up, and he goes, Smitrovich!
And he said it right? He said it right.
He did. Arthur Miller and Robert Mitchum, who I had the great pleasure of working with when I was younger, loved saying my last name. Smitrovich, hey, So we had, a drink and we had a really good time. But, Maria, what was her name? She was a real Russian Sex Pistol, was also in the movie. And I can't remember her name right now.
Okay, I'll Google it. No worries. Google Man is here. Maria's Lovers.
I'll think of it in a moment. But it was really quite a wonderful memory. Keith Carradine.
Natasha Kinski. Natasha Kinski. The very sexy, beautiful actress. I remember she was in so many movies, one right after the other.
Oh, she is. And such a playful, wonderful young woman artist. Really open and free, and just great time working with them. And Andre, that was just it was a magical moment in my time. We filmed that in a city called California, Pennsylvania.
Wow, I didn't even know there was a California in Pennsylvania, but okay. There's a Hollywood in Florida. Why not?
My new mother-in-law got a chance to meet Robert Mitchum, which was really a thrill for her.
Oh, wow. She must have just been like, what? Can you imagine your mother-in-law about to meet Robert Mitchum? Wow. She must love you forever. Was she baking you pies and cookies? She probably was baking you pies and cookies the rest of the...
Yeah, she's a wonderful lady. God rest her soul.
Oh.
And, it was... but anyway, that was one film, early film, that I had the honor to be in and just do a little thing. He let me improvise with Keith, and we had such a great time. And then another early film was Splash. I was just in it for like maybe 2 minutes, but I was Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow. And Steven Spielberg.
I was Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And Candy's father.
Candy's
at
father?
At the flashback in the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, there was the movie starts on a boat supposedly in Cape Cod, but we're in Nassau, Bahamas. And
go figure.
Yeah, right.
Did you see the Bermuda
But I.
Triangle? So you're working with Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, and you were her Candy's
No,
father.
no, 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 no. Tom Hanks. This was Tom Hanks's one of Tom Hanks, if not the first, one of his first, and it was one of my first films. But it was directed by Ron Howard. It was Ron
Oh,
Howard's
oh, that's right.
first
That's right.
film.
Forgive me, film addicts. Forgive me.
Yeah, so it. I remember I never got to meet Tom. I was so shy and so nervous. I saw him. He was at the pool reading a book. I didn't want to disturb him, but Tom Hanks, if you're listening to this, I do want to disturb you now, and I do want to tell you that I should have used the cigar that I wanted to use for the character, but I was too afraid or shy to ask about it and thought it would be inappropriate. But then when I saw John Candy have a cigar in the movie and he loves cigars, I'm going, why didn't I do that? And why didn't I go up to Tom and just introduce myself? It's just, it was one of those shy actor moments that I regret.
Ah, well, see, so that's like, to me, like we learn from others. And like, if you're on the set and you have a choice and you want to do that for your character, maybe there should be a way that someone is able to ask and communicate. Because I think at the end of the day, the directors and producers and actors want the best for the characters and the best for the film. So maybe we can change that or have an opening. So, well, you're doing fantastic. I mean, movie after movie after movie and TV show after TV show, and running countries in and TV shows. But so let's okay. So you're so can you tell me of a film scene that you really like by a director or that you've been directed in? Because we love learning about directing shots and acting on here. Can you maybe explain a film shot and your method of acting to prepare on a film that's different from a TV acting scene that you prepare for?
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah,
It's
that's
a
a lot of questions.
two-parter. That's a two-parter with eight monologues.
No, I got a chance to direct on Life Goes On, and I could have gone on to direct more had I wanted to. It was the top-rated show of our season,
Wow.
and
Life goes
it
on.
was when yeah, it was when Kelly was breaking up with Tommy. Becca was breaking up with Tommy, and Corky was getting married. So that was the one that I directed, and it was just fabulous. But directors, Michael Mann, I have to say, and certainly thank him for starting me in my career, film-wise. I always, Michael Mann. It's Michael Mann for film, Arthur Miller for theater. I mean, I'm so blessed that those two men brought me into their worlds. And with Michael, he was the first director that I could really watch him work. I could really see him work. And he's so intense and such a perfectionist. And his use of color is astounding. When you look at Manhunter and you look at Crime Story and Thief, I mean, just Thief alone, Michael was the guy that started wetting down the streets so they would glisten in the lights.
Wow, that's a cool idea. Geez,
Oh
that's
yeah, I
clever.
mean, he innovated a lot of
Techniques.
these techniques, these cinematography techniques. But a lot of that he had a photographer named Cesarotti. And
Oh, Italian?
yeah, and he was brilliant. And he also used an Italian director of photography who brought over his Italian crew for Manhunter. But Dominic Cesarotti, that was his name, he did all our graphics for Crime Story, worked on Manhunter, but he took over on Crime Story, and what they did was, say for instance, they would go, okay, no red. We're not using any red.
Wow.
Yeah. We just take a color out completely. And, with Dominic, he was just incredible. But he and Michael shared wonderful, they had a great shorthand about how they wanted things to look. And Dominic would just take us out and, he'd do B-roll or he'd do stills. But it all worked. I mean, all these directors, you have to understand that they have teams. The great directors have teams that they work with. I mean, Spielberg had Dan Attias when he was starting out, and Dan became, he was the director of Silver Bullet, which was one of an early film that I did as well.
Wow.
And it was Dan's first film. But that was, so you have these, you need a team. I mean, Michael Mann, when he did Miami Vice, he teamed up with Michael Bloomberg, not Michael Bloom, Paul Bloomfield, Michael Bloomfield, and
it's dyslexic for me, Paul Bloomfield.
Yeah, and the drummer, what was his name? He wrote the Miami Vice theme song. With the
the best theme song ever. I'll look it up.
No, but I'm saying that the directors, they have a vision and they're able to articulate that vision to a very, very talented team of sound, vision, concept, and wonderful set designers like Mel Bourne, God rest his soul, just tremendous set designer, production designer. So Roger Donaldson, another wonderful director, has a team, but Roger is more spread out than Roger likes to do documentaries as well as scripted and unscripted. So he did a wonderful movie about the Indian motorcycle with Anthony Hopkins that it's called The Fastest Indian. If anybody is looking for a movie, a sleeper to see that one, The Fastest Indian.
Ooh, it's about a motorcycle?
Yeah, it's a true story and fascinating story. Roger Donaldson is very much into racing, motorcycle, and otherwise. But let me see, directors.
Well, let's end this at part 1, and then we'll go to part 2, continuing with our director. So, end of part 1 with Bill Smitrovich, and we'll go on to part 2, so we can learn about how you started your fabulous career to being this legendary, amazing TV actor, director, and producer. So, end of part 1. Thanks, Filmatics, and continue to part 2 because I promise you, it's spectacular.